an in-between video, middle of the week, on how I'm connecting the top cabinet to the bottom cabinet precisely. To explain, I mentioned I'm going to fasten the top and the bottom together. And what I'm going to use is a 3/8 bolt. There we go, 3/8 bolt, a T-nut at the bottom, and a washer at the top. And the T-nut's going to come up from the bottom, and the bolt will go down through the top. Now, the trick to this is everything has to be very precisely aligned so that when you drill the holes, everything's in alignment. And that means once I'm ready to go through both pieces of wood, I need to have this tapped and topped and clamped and put exactly where I want it. But take a look at how I'm going to drill these, since I can't stick this thing in a drill press. I've used this before on the channel. This is one of those portable little drill press thingies. And I've got it clamped in place. I've marked where the 4 holes are going to go. And basically I take a drill and then drill this down, and this is going to be the socket for the washer and the nut, which will go in down here, obviously. But I want it to be flush with the surface because, you know, Mara puts things in here and it wants to be on the surface. It doesn't need a bump. I've marked the drill bit to the depth I want to drill it at. This is the Forstner bit. And let me get this all tightened up. There we go. And if I go down and go to those where that mark is, I'll be able to test it with this upside down, make sure I got the depth that I want. See how that is. Nope, ways to go yet. A little bit more. Even though I marked it, I'm double checking everything. Oop, get this chips out of the way. Okay, now that washer is absolutely flush with this surface right here, which means when I flip this around and put it in, the nut's going to be at the same place. And the center hole, the little divot in the center of the hole that the Forstner bit leaves behind is an indexer for the next drill bit that has to go through there, which is going to be a 1/2-inch drill bit, and I'll explain that later. But right now, let's get all 4 of these divots drilled into this thing. All 4 of the counterbores are in place, and there will be my indexing for when I get this thing squared away. When I square this whole thing back up again, so that all the things are all matched up and it's nice and straight and symmetric and all that, I'll clamp it in place, and then I can start drilling the next series of holes. Like I said, there's going to be a 1/2-inch hole through this piece here, and the reason being, I said explain that later, but I haven't got it yet. It's coming today. I'm putting 3/8 ID 1/2-inch OD aluminum tubing in that hole there, so it prevents wear against the wood. Because, yeah, the part may never move or whatever, but screws can wear away at wood if you move the thing around at all. And I'm just going to eliminate that. And then the T-nuts will be driven into place, make sure when everything is square, and then that squares it up completely so that there'll be no mistake. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to have shelves in it, but it's going to be a closed-off space with doors. So what I've done is I've closed off the top here, and I'm going to make a noise getting the other part. I have a piece of plywood that sits in here. And that's just going to sit there. That's not going to be fastened down. So this becomes a closed-in square box for the shelves. So let's get on with other bits and pieces, finish up these fasteners, and then start making the drawer boxes. So here's one of my attachment corners inside this portion of the cabinet. So you can see the aluminum tube down there that for precision, use McMaster-Carr aluminum tube. Washer, and then the bolt goes down in there. Now the T-nut is underneath, and you can see from this picture of the T-nut and how I glued in the alignment pin. The alignment pin looks like it's sloppy here, but I just tapered the top of it so it's just easier to get down into the wood. I just put glue at the bottom of the pin and just put it in place and let it cure, and it's done. So now you just tighten down the bolt, and that's it. All four corners. It's never going to move. This is going to remain nice and tight here. So now, with this little video out of the way, let's go on and build the drawer boxes.